children of the screen, your friendly neighborhood nerd scum here once again, coming at you with another segment of Nerd Needs. This is the show where I pitch you an idea or concept that probably won't happen, most likely won't happen, but deep down in my nerd soul, I just need it. I'm sure you can relate. Now, previously on this show, I came at you with my top 3 DC-centric crossover nerd needs. So, to follow up on that, this week we're going to be covering my top 3 Marvel Comics-centric crossover nerd needs. Like the crossovers between a Marvel property and some other non-Marvel property that probably won't happen. I'm almost certain it won't happen, but bloody hell, I just need it. I need it, guys. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into that. Number 3, Ghost Rider Hellboy. Ghost Rider was created by Gary Frederick, Roy Thomas, and Mike Ploog, making his first appearance in the pages of Marvel Spotlight number 5 in 1972. Hellboy made his first appearance in San Diego Comic-Con Comics number 2 in 1993 and was created by Mike Mignola. Right on, guys. So like with a lot of these, I don't necessarily have a specific story that I really want to see happen. It really all depends on who's writing and who's drawing it. My personal opinion would be just go ahead and give it to Mike Mignola. Like honestly, there's definitely a lot of cool people who could also write it or draw it, but because Mike Mignola is kind of the Hellboy guy, and he's done so much Hellboy, especially considering he's recently returned to Hellboy, I think it'd be interesting to see his take on Ghost Rider within the Hellboy universe. And obviously your storyline for something like that would probably most likely be, you know, Hellboy actually goes to hell and down there encounters Ghost Rider, who's a prisoner or something to that effect. Or, you know, you could always reverse that. And I mean, if you wanted to go a really simple route with it, you could even do something as easy as like Hellboy's on a case, innocent people get killed, so Ghost Rider comes to just totally mess up the demon who started all this. He mistakes Hellboy for whatever monster is causing all the havoc. You have your typical superhero crossover where they fight, and then eventually they realize they're on the same side, and they join forces against Cthulhu or, you know, the Black Society of evil weirdos, you know, whatever thing Mike Mignola wants to come up with. Like, honestly, I love the two characters, despite the fact that they are mostly awesome in terms of their visual style, and that's actually honestly why Mike Mignola, I think, should be the one to do it, because in terms of visual style and just making something look amazing and cool, and the fact that he created Hellboy, I would love to see that crossover interpretation. It would be really awesome. Number 2, Doctor Strange, John Constantine. Doctor Strange was created by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, first appearing in Strange Tales number 110 in 1963. Whereas John Constantine made his first appearance in Saga of the Swamp Thing number 25 from 1984 and was created by Alan Moore. Once again, guys, I do not have a specific story arc in mind for this. And for this one, I honestly don't even have creators in mind. I just love the character of Doctor Strange. Ever since I was a kid, he's been one of my favorite characters. And I love John Constantine, that being a character that I came to a little bit later in life. But they both kind of deal with a lot of similar aspects of their respective worlds. However, they are completely different in their approaches to that and even their power levels. But at the same time, what I really think would be interesting is, like, once you cut away all of the specifics, I think Doctor Strange and John Constantine are the bickering buddy cops that will team up to do some huge interdimensional, like, adventure where they save all of creation in every dimension. And then basically they just take a frickin' week off while they get totally hammered and scam on chicks. Both of them are notorious womanizers. Both of them are pretty notorious for partying. And all throughout this, it would just be great because their personalities clashing. I don't know what I want to see more, them saving the world or them just hanging out. But either way, these are two really enigmatic characters who I think people are really interested in, but they don't have like an easy way to get to know the characters. And with this kind of like 1 or 2 issue crossover, you could definitely distill the characters into their purest forms and then have them clash, and that clash could accentuate what's awesome and what's kind of failing about each of them, so that by the time it's done, you kind of have a grander view of both characters, who they are, how they function, and that way if you want to kind of get into the character from that, it not only works as a kind of a big crossover thing, but it also works as a jumping on point for people who might be interested in those characters who would be brought in by the appeal of a big crossover event. Right on, guys. And my number one Marvel Comics-centric crossover nerd need is Wolverine versus Predators, plural. Wolverine was created by Roy Thomas, Len Wein, and John Romita Sr. He made his first appearance in The Incredible Hulk number 181. The alien race known as the Predators were first introduced in the 1987 film, and their first appearance in the comic books was in 1989 within the pages of Predator Concrete Jungle. Okay guys, I don't think I need to explain why this would be absolutely dope, and I don't think I'm the only one who this would appear on their list. The idea of Wolverine, this tiny, unstoppable killing machine that we've seen have his body reduced down to mere atoms and regenerate back from it, versus just wave after wave of frickin' Predators. How could that not be just absolutely awesome? It couldn't be. It's a no-brainer. It's the ultimate no-brainer of all no-brainers. Now for this one, I do have kind of a basic premise or idea for the story I would like to see, and essentially what it is the movie Predators, except instead of having a group of humans that are being hunted, it's just Wolverine. And more Predators than show up in the movie Predators, because again, Wolverine is a total badass, and the Predators know this, so they're going to have reinforcements. Not to mention, we want it to be awesome. Now for the setup for this one, really ideally what I would like is to see Wolverine in like a rainforest or some other kind of jungle setting, and have him be fighting one of his normal villains, like someone who we know and recognize, and then basically have the Predators come after both of them, which causes them to have to team up. And again, because this is out of continuity and is just awesomeness for the sake of awesomeness, you go ahead and kill off the villain who has teamed up with Wolverine, leaving him on his own, raising the stakes and getting a surprise out of people who don't expect you to kill off Sabretooth or Lady Deathstroke or whoever it's going to be. And then from that point on, like I said, it is just Wolverine taking on an army of Predators. What would be really interesting with this is just to see all the different ways that the Predators would try to adapt to fight Wolverine, and also see all the different ways that Wolverine's inherent abilities allow him to fight Predators in a unique way from things we've seen before. For example, or for instance, yeah, we're gonna cut that out and then come back to right here. For example, Wolverine has heightened senses, so like just because the Predator is invisible, that doesn't mean anything. Wolverine can still find them, he can still hunt them. They have machinery and moving parts on their armor. He can hear the hum of it because he has the heightened hearing. Like, not to mention the fact that Wolverine has more collective combat training than probably all the Predators that they're bringing together. Not to mention the fact that Wolverine is very old, probably as old as some of these Predators. So when you think about it, despite the fact that they're from totally different comic book universes, the Predators and Wolverine are kind of, as I said, a no-brainer matchup, and it's something that I just absolutely need. I need it. Right on, guys. Those are my top 3 Marvel Comics-centric crossover nerd needs. But dude, there are so many characters in Marvel Comics, hundreds, if not thousands of characters. So I'm sure there's crossover ideas that I can't even conceive of. But you know what I bet can? That spot, deep down here, inside each of your nerd soul, where your nerd needs reside. So why don't you go down to the comments and let me know, what is your top Marvel Comics-centric crossover nerd need? Let me know right down there. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you like this video, please leave a like and share it with some friends. That's more important now than ever, with everything YouTube's changing up on small YouTubers like myself. Also, if you're not subscribed, make sure to hit subscribe and that little bell so you can get notifications on all the dope content I'll have coming out in the future. Furthermore, guys, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I will have the links for that in the description below. Thank you very much for your time, children of the screen. I hope you all have a good one. Nerd Scum, out.